I'd like to welcome those viewers who have just joined us from the Washington-Pittsburgh game. I'm Merle Herman along with Paul Horning. We're in Denver, Colorado at Mile High Stadium. The Broncos scored early in the first quarter, and we're in that quarter right now on a 44-yard Elway touchdown pass. And right now, Rich Carlos is going to try to kick one from 51 yards out to give the Broncos a 10-run lead. The barefooter has plenty of distance, and he also has a 51-yard field goal.
And that ties his longest field goal. 51 yards. He did it twice in 1986 and 1987.
And we have a timeout in Denver. A minute 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Denver leads 10-0.
This bud's for all that you do.
This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. And the Broncos are leading by a score of 10-0 as Carlos gets ready to kick off.
A bird's eye view of this kickoff.
Going back deep, Curtis Adams, number 42, along with Jamie Holland, 86, Anthony Miller, 83. Carlos boots it from his own 35. He has kicked two out of the end zone. San Diego making a run back on this one with Jamie Holland and Will. Holland trying to get to the outside is chopped down at about the 16, possibly the 17-yard line.
Good special team tackle by Kevin Guidry over there, a defensive back out of LSU, a rookie.
Babe Laufenberg checking in with Jerry Rome, the offensive coordinator of the Chargers, as he comes on the field. As you can see, signed as a free agent prior to the '88 training camp. He'd bounced around a bit, but he'd never played it down in the NFL. But he is playing plenty for San Diego now. We've got a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment.
Merle, you may be looking at one of the next head coaches in the National Football League. That's Jerry Rome. He's the offensive coordinator for the Chargers. And I tell you, he's well respected around this league. And I really think
jobs, and they just can't keep ignoring what this man has done. So I agree with you. I think it won't be long till he'll be a head man. First and 10, San Diego on the 16-yard line. Babe Laufenberg is the quarterback for the Chargers. Play action, screen, tip, almost intercepted. Mecklenburg had his hands on the ball and almost pulled it back in.
And I tell you, he saved a big play for San Diego. It was beautiful faking. And that's something you don't see in the National Football League, Merle. Quarterbacks do not fake well, usually, in the pro league. But this kid made a beautiful fake here, and he's got a screen set up on the right side. If Mecklenburg does not get his big left paw up there, that's a big play for San Diego. Great defensive play by Mecklenburg, and he almost gets the interception.
So it's second down for San Diego. I understand a moment ago when I gave the score, I said Denver's leading by 10 runs. You can tell I just came from a baseball stadium, can't you? The handoff goes to Tim Spencer, the big back. At the 20, Freddie Gilbert, 90, the defensive left end, makes the hit, the 3-year veteran from Georgia. Now we're going to show you the earlier touchdown by Denver.
Some of you must look at the great pass protection. Down the left sideline, Bill Bird on the defense, and Mark Jackson makes a great catch to 2, goes on to the end zone, a 44-yard touchdown pass. There he is, Mark Jackson, his second touchdown catch of the year.
And that was followed by Carlos' 51-yard field goal, the third of his career, by the way, from that distance. And so consequently, Denver leads by a score of 10-0, and San Diego is third and long. Not quite 7th. Incomplete by Laufenberg. Eric Sievers, 85, the tight end, covered by Jim Ryan, number 50, the outside linebacker, the dean of the defense, they call him. And it is 4th down for the Chargers of San Diego, and Ralph Moshinko will come in for his 4th punt.
Well, that was just a poor pass by Laufenberg. Had his man open. Rulon Jones put the pressure on for Denver. He'll go in on passing situations. Rulon Jones, a 9-year veteran.
Moshinko drives it downfield. Kevin Clark at the 42. Midfield. At the 49 of San Diego. He is tackled by Eric Sievers, a 38-yard punt. And with 35 seconds left to go in the first quarter, the Denver Broncos lead San Diego 10-0. The opposing coaches who come in here to play Denver, I don't think agree with that. How about you, Paul Horning?
Well, I don't agree with it at all. You look at Dan Reeves' record here at home. He's 36-7, 83% with that home field advantage. I'll tell you, that home cooking's good for everybody.
Al Saunders took over San Diego's head coaching job in 1986. And he has an 11-13 mark. Last year he lost his first game, won the next 8, and then lost the next 6.
But I tell you one thing, this guy is going to be a coach in this league a long time. The players respect him. He's got a great personality, and I just kind of admire him the very little time I've seen him.
Inside handoff to Sammy Winder is going to lose about 3.
Lee Williams on the stop. And Lee Williams, we take a look, is really, as Coach Saunders told us last night, he's really our only first-line football player that we have. Chip Banks hadn't signed. Here's we take the inside handoff with Winder, and you'll see Lee Williams play off the block and make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Lee Williams, 31.5 sacks the last 3 years. He's really one of the great pass rushers in this league.
He's out of Bethune-Cookman in Florida, a school that has produced several NFL stars. We have come to the end of the first quarter here at Mile High Stadium. The Broncos over San Diego by 10, and we'll be right back. Merle Harmon and Pro Football Hall of Famer Paul Horning with you from Denver, Colorado. We've played 1 quarter, and there's a look at the game statistically. Elway, of course, up in the air for 70 yards and a touchdown. Laufenberg having his problems in the first quarter. Dorsett is back. Will Hyde is back.
Shotgun.
Check that. Sewell is now in. Dorsett is not in. Elway throws on the run. It is caught. Jackson down the sideline at the 18-yard line, brought down by Elvis Patterson. Number 34, the quarterback of the big gainer, gives the Broncos a first down to the San Diego 18.
Well, Elway's going to hurt you when he's in the pocket, but I've always felt when you got a quarterback like this with this much ability, once he gets outside that pocket, he becomes even more dangerous. And Elway is that. Look at this wonderful pitch down the right side, 34-yard pickup. Mark Jackson's having a pretty good first half here.
Elway is now over the 100-yard mark in passing. We're just seconds into the second quarter. Dorsett and Winder are now the running backs, and John Elway wants a timeout. So something went wrong there. At least Elway wanted to make sure that there was no misunderstanding. With the timeout, it's 10-0 Denver.
Today's game.
The Denver Broncos and Dan Reeves, a 10-0 lead over the San Diego Chargers, and the Broncos are marching like they're going to get more. Tony Dorsett and Sammy Winder are the running backs. Dorsett is now the tailback. Winder blocks on the corner. Dorsett makes his cut inside the block near the 10. Elvis Patterson makes the stop.
Good move by our Tony Dorsett. As we quickly update, Pittsburgh, now it's a final. Washington by 1 over Pittsburgh. Buffalo over Miami, a final 9-6. Another final, San Francisco by 3. Chicago a winner over the Colts. New Orleans an 8-point winner today over Atlanta, and Tampa Bay by the Pack by 3. Tied up second quarter 3-3. The Raiders are also tied up against Houston, and Minnesota a touchdown over New England.
On 2nd and 2, Dorsett first down and is down to the 5-yard line. Dorsett is having a very good first half in this game. Vincey Glenn, the free safety, had to make the hit. It'll be 1st and goal on the 5 for Denver.
As we take a look at Dorsett, inside handoff, he's got the option to slip outside. This time he cuts back inside. Vincey Glenn on the stop by the Chargers. Dorsett now 34 yards and 8 carries. We take a look at the ticker. Philadelphia touchdown over Cincinnati. Kansas City and Seattle tied up, and the Rams a 4-point lead over the Lions. All second quarter score.
1st and goal for the Broncos on the San Diego 5. Draw to Dorsett at the goal line, and he is stopped a little bit short, apparently. Chuck Fawcett, the inside linebacker, out of the University of Maryland stopped Dorsett just short of the goal line. Got help from Vincey Glenn, number 25, a 3-year man from Indiana State. 2nd and goal for the Broncos.
Pat Kelly checks in, big tight end. 6'6", 252 pounds. Also Gerald Wilhite checks in, and Dorsett gets a breather.
And the crowd's booing. They want Dorsett to stay in the game.
Short yardage, this is the way they go. Winder will be your deep back, and Gerald Wilhite the up back, and they split out now.
2nd and goal. Wilhite over the top.
Touchdown.
And he's in. So the Broncos go up 16-0. Steve Sewell was the lead blocker. He had set on the wing right. You saw him in motion. And he made his cut, and Wilhite went right over the top. You'll see it.
Well, he does so many things. Steve Sewell, 4-year player out of University of Oklahoma. Very valuable man in this Bronco offense. We're going to take another look.
Catches the ball well. He blocks well. He goes on the wing. He runs the football. He catches it. As we take a look at Wilhite scoring his first touchdown of the year.
Gary Kubiak, the number 2 quarterback out of Texas A&M, will hold for Carlos for the extra point try at the south end of Mile High Stadium. And Carlos is automatic. So the Broncos are in front by 17 with 12 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the first half in Denver. Back at Mile High Stadium, I'm Merle Harmon along with Pro Football Hall of Famer Paul Horning. Paul, there's no doubt about it, the Broncos have got their act back together today.
Well, they didn't look too good last week, but this week it's just what the doctor ordered. Elway is thrown for 1 touchdown, and after that beautiful 1-yard run by Wilhite hitting in there, it looks as if Denver has everything under control so far.
So the Broncos, and this latest scoring drive, take 49 yards on 6 plays to get the job done. Wilhite going over for the touchdown as Carlos booms it downfield. It'll be taken by Curtis Adams, and Adams breaks the tackle. He is out across the 30. A great job.
Anthony Miller, I'm sorry, folks. Anthony Miller came up with the ball. 83 in place of 43.
Very dangerous out of the University of Tennessee. Had 1 kick called back in the preseason. Anthony, look at that wonderful move on the inside, and Anthony Miller is going to be a dangerous return man in this league. Take a look at Al Saunders over on the outside. He can't get his jobber down. This is a very young football team, and they don't have to worry about hitting you. They will hit you, and as the game goes on, you're going to see a lot of hard tackling on this San Diego Charger team. They play all out and quite reckless, in fact, even though they're trailing 17-0. They just don't have the folks. As we take a look at Michael Brooks, who was shaken up on the play, and he's walking off under his own power.
Miller's return was 31 yards, and so the San Diego Chargers down by 17 with 11:57 to go in the first half here in Denver. The Broncos, as we mentioned earlier, have not lost back-to-back games in 1 and 2, meaning at the beginning of the season since 1968. They were very much aware of that yesterday at the workout. Good play action fake by Laufenberg. He's going for it all. He's got Miller.
Intercepted.
Castillo picks it up, takes it away. And he is out of bounds at about the 32.
And for a young quarterback, this is the way you learn. It's a tough lesson to learn, but Anthony Miller was wide open on a post pattern for 6 points, and it was just a tremendous move by Jeremiah Castillo, the 6-year pro out of Alabama. Look, he's got him beat by 2. And this long pass, just a little bit underthrown. What a great interception by Mr. Castillo. 12th career interception. And Denver has the football back in fine field position at the 33-yard line.
And now the San Diego defense is going to get another workout. Al Saunders very, very proud of the effort given by his team.
Absolutely. And he realizes, he told us, this kid's young. Laufenberg, he's got a lot of pride in his own ability, and he thinks he can get the job done. That pass, almost 6 points.
Screen to Dorsett. Flags are down all over the place.
I tell you, if you don't think this game is a game of inches, you know, Merle, that ball had been thrown maybe a yard and a half further, it could have been 6 points.
holding call against Denver. You know, we talked about a moment ago about Al Saunders, and he is pleased with the effort that his team is giving. You know,
Holdable foul against the offense. Holding. Decline.
I think he said 64. Billy Bryan, the center. What we're going to say about Al Saunders, he knows that he is undermanned. He's got all these young people, 18, but he says as long as we keep giving an all-out effort, we're going to improve. We're going to get better. It'll be first down and 20 on the holding call. The ball going back to the 23-yard line. The shotgun for Elway.
We might be seeing Mark Malone a little bit later on for San Diego.
Sewell on the handoff at the 24. Joe Phillips, the nose tackle, makes the hit. Malone has not played yet for San Diego. Did not get in the game last week.
And we really haven't talked about it too much, but Billy Ray Smith, 1987 most valuable player, one of the best linebackers in the league, is not suited up today. And you don't think that hurts your defense.
It is second down. Almost 18. Elway runs out of the trap. Wide open. Natil gets a block. Down at the 35. Jackson turns blocker, number 80. Mark Jackson, the other wideout. But we have an injury across the way, and Will Height's a little slow getting up, but he is okay.
Look at Elway, just a little reverse pivot there. He gets loose. Ricky Natil was wide open over the middle, and he got him right on the numbers. He comes back against the grain here. Almost gets loose from Elvis Patterson, number 34, who makes the stop. And look who's warming up on the sidelines. That's Mark Malone over there. They got him, of course, in a trade from Pittsburgh. And I know he's happy to be there.
After an 11-yard pickup, it is still third down 7 for Denver. Elway right over the middle to the tight end, Orson Mobley. Incomplete. Gary Plummer, number 50, the inside linebacker, covering the big tight end, and it is fourth down for the Broncos.
Yeah, you heard him hitting him on the numbers. He hit him right on the leg, on the knee. Mobley was not ready for it.
Mike Horan, a 5-year veteran from Long Beach State, handles the kicking for Denver. 44.8 last week, 41 yards a year ago for the season. Lionel James will be back deep for San Diego. James from his own 21.
Oh, I heard that, and I felt that.
He gets 10 to the 31, a 43-yard kick, and the Chargers will have the ball at their own 31-yard line. Denver on top by 17, 10:08 to go in the half. Mark Malone makes his debut as a San Diego Charger in a regular NFL season game. Malone came from Pittsburgh, 8 years.
He's a big kid, 6'4", 220. And I tell you, if this stint doesn't work out, he can get a job doubling for Tom Selleck.
Can't he, though? First down on the San Diego 31. About 2 by Anderson, maybe 3 at the most. Freddie Gilbert, number 90, the defensive left end from the University of Georgia, out there to make the tackle.
There's Malone's 87 stats, 6 touchdowns, 19 intercepts.
Gain of 2, second down 8.
That's why he's here in San Diego.
He comes from the San Diego area, playing his college ball at Arizona State. You know, Pittsburgh, he really had to go through it with the fans in Pittsburgh.
Look at the difference in passing yardage here, and that's the difference in this ball game right now. 110 yards passing for Denver. Over.
On the slant end, it is complete to Quinn Early, number 87, the wideout. Mark Haynes, number 36, had the coverage, and he got almost enough for a first down. A little bit short, got about 7.
Good coverage, good pitch, and good catch here. Just a little man-to-man on the outside. Watch the quick post pattern. He plants off that right foot. He's open, and Malone delivers the football right on target.
Third down 1 coming up for the Chargers, who trail by 17. Merle Harmon and Hall of Famer Paul Hornung with you in Denver at Mile High Stadium. Johnson.
No, he didn't get it.
By Carl Mecklenburg, who met him in the hole and really popped him.
Well, he loves it too. Look at that smile on his face. Carl Mecklenburg loved this game. He loves this game of defense. And you must play defensive football with emotion. And watch this emotion by Carl Mecklenburg. Defense is a game of emotion. On offense, you have to have it a lot more controlled emotion to play it. But defense, you just got to have a reckless abandon for the game, and that's what Mecklenburg has.
And Mecklenburg stopped San Diego short of a first down. It is 4th down. And coming on to punt is Moshenko for San Diego. Left puts the ball down the field to Kevin Clark. And he returns it for about 2. Downfield, Jamie Holland on the coverage and stopped him. They'll move the ball back, however, to about the 20-yard line. Ooh, look out. There goes a flag. Clark threw the ball back, and side judge Larry Nimmers was right behind him and got the ball in the face.
And I think that was an inadvertent slip here by Mr. Clark. He didn't really want to throw it right in his face. But, of course, I think it's a good call. You can't let that happen. You got to be in control of the situation. They don't want to let this game get out of hand. You can see he didn't mean it. He was a little bit hot of the rough treatment that San Diego special teams had given him on that punt return. As we got Mr. Miller down.
Pat Miller being attended to at the 45-yard line. The crowd reacts. Clark gets an unsportsmanlike conduct call. We're getting a little bit of a breakup on our mic from referee Dick Jorgensen, so we'll try to fill you in as best we can here on some of the calls with all this noise.
Well, now let's watch. Watch where his forward progress stops. Now right here he stopped. Now the whistle's blown. There's a little piling on. Now everybody should ease up right now, but Clark doesn't like it. Gives him a nice little elbow in the stomach there. Uh-oh, wait a minute. It didn't. Good call. Good call. I don't know if that was inadvertent or not. It looked like he was throwing it right for his nose.
At the Denver 12, Elway goes to work. Dorsett goes to work. And so does number 22, Gil Bird, who stretches him out across the field and runs him out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So Dorsett got about 5.
Boy, nothing would suit Dorsett any better, Merle, than have a 100-yard day here rushing. It's been a while.
You notice that sun shield that he's wearing? Some of the players are using that now. Dorsett says he didn't want anybody to be looking at his eyes to know which way he's going to go. Paul, this game is getting sophisticated.
It sure is. I tell you, they got more gimmicks now and equipment and the whole game.
Elway, Natil, incomplete. Flag down. We'll see what the penalty flag is all about.
Flag down. The penalty was. Let's take a look at the 10-minute ticker. The Jets over Cleveland by 3. The Raiders having another good day, 21-7 over Houston. And New England trails Minnesota now by 2 touchdowns. Cincinnati behind Philadelphia by a touch. Kansas City same against Seattle. All these second quarter scores. And Detroit leads the Rams 10-7. That's a surprise.
Cleveland is having trouble getting that offense going, and now it's even been curtailed.
Chop block, number 64 and 72. Offense at the distance. Still second down.
The Broncos are penalized. What I was going to say, with Bernie Kosar out now, they're really having problems getting the offense going.
Well, Gary Danielson said he's going to step in there, and he thinks he can do the job, but evidently today he's been pretty tough moving that football.
So a half the distance penalty takes the ball back inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Dorsett and Winder had 14 yards to make up here to get Denver a first down. Dorsett has come wide to the right. The inside handout to Winder. The play is read by Les Miller. We have a flag thrown as Miller dumps Winder at about the 1-yard line.
Complete malfunction in the blocking assignments up front. Les Miller, 6'8". Listen to this, 293 pounds. I tell you, you almost have to cross block and trap block these big guys now, because if you try to block them straight ahead, you just can't move them. There you see big number 69, third-year pro at 40. Hays State in Kansas. they got the Broncos back inside the 5.
We have 8 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in the first half.
False start before the snap. Left tackle. Still second down.
He not only had a false start, he missed the block too. And that's Jim Jariga, who's playing in place of Dave Studdard, who usually plays the left tackle position for the Broncos, of course. And he's had a knee injury in the offseason last year, and he has not played yet.
Second down, 18. Wilhite and Sewell are the running back. The shotgun. Elway zips it to Natil. He is out of bounds inside the 20, short of a first down. Roy Bennett, 23, had the coverage on the play.
Now watch Elway here. He goes back and he keys the coverage out there. Roy Bennett, a rookie from Jackson State, got his man out there all by himself, and he just makes a little turnout move, Ricky Natil, and he's wide open. Boy, I tell you, when he lets it go all the time in the world, he stands right in the pocket. And when you see a quarterback throw on rhythm, when they drop back in the pocket and they look and they just let it go right away, you know the receiver is wide open.
Pat Miller has gone for x-rays, and so has Mark Jackson. And again, the San Diego defense swarms Elway. And Mike Charles, number 71, Joe Phillips, 75, applying the pressure.
Got 2 nose tackles in there. Got the big ones in there. Mike Charles, 6'4", 296, and Phillips, 6'5", 275. And that's what I was saying. You try to block these guys straight ahead, Merle, you need some help.
It'll be
So
fourth
big
down.
today.
4th down and 4 as Mike Horan comes in to do the kicking. Lionel James will be back deep for the Chargers.
Well, that was the worst offensive series so far today for the Broncos. They didn't get anything accomplished in that drive.
And you got to give that swarming defense of San Diego, the defense of the Broncos, all week said, what is it? What are they doing? As that ball is kicked out of bounds.
Wasn't the best one there. He kind of shanked it off the left side.
It's going to be marked somewhere up near midfield, 45-yard line, 47, 48, 49, right on the midfield stripe now is where they mark it. And we've got a timeout. Denver leads by 17. Elway passed to Jackson for 44 yards and a Denver touchdown in the first quarter. Carlos a 51-yard field goal. Here in the second quarter, Gerald Wilhite to the 1-foot line, 17-0 Denver. Play action with Malone for San Diego. To the near side, incomplete. Arthur Cox, the tight end. Was the intended receiver, Andre Townsend, 61, Greg Cragen, 71. The 2 big, well, the right end and nose tackle of Denver on the defensive unit applying the pressure. You know, we weren't being facetious a moment ago when we said the Broncos were saying all week, what are those guys doing on defense?
That's right.
And that's what San Diego wants people to think. What are we doing on defense?
Well, they overshift their linemen so much. They overshift to the weak side and to the strong side. And the strong side meaning wherever the tight end lines up. So it's tough. Look at this step. 128 yards passing for the Broncos. Chargers only 12.
Malone shotgun. Inside handoff to Lionel James. And James has a first down and more. And he stumbles and goes down after he had broken a last tackle. Mike Harden and Dennis Smith had shots at him. And the little guy gets all the way down to the 27-yard line.
Beautiful move by Lionel James here. This is only the 3rd first down for San Diego. He's going to pick up 23 yards here. Out of the shotgun, a little draw and trap blocking up front. And Lionel James does the rest. This little guy had over 4,000 all-purpose yards the last 3 years. Look at it, 4 years. Lionel James has got San Diego in great field position.
Mark Malone, quarterbacking San Diego for the first time, hits number 82. And that would be Rod Bernstein, and that is his first catch for San Diego.
I would say this is a great pitch here. Mark Malone out of the pocket. He was covered by 3 or 4 orange jerseys. We take a look at Babe Laufenberg now giving the signals in for Mark Malone. Good teamwork here, of course. And that brings up a point. A lot of quarterbacks, when they take away their job, they want to get traded now. It's very unusual. We'll get into that a little bit later, too.
Malone got 20 on the play. First and goal, San Diego. This is Anderson. No game. Mark Haynes, 36. Got him on the corner.
His responsibility is to force everything inside from that corner position. And he does it as well as anyone in this league. Mark Haynes, Here comes a signal in from Laufenberg on the sidelines.
You know, we're talking about Rod Bernstein a moment ago. That was the first time that he had caught a pass this year for San Diego. He had not been in any action at all as far as touching the football last week against Los Angeles, either running or.
There he is lined up on the wing there. He's going in motion. He's the H-back.
Malone with time.
Flag down.
Inside the 5, but the marker is down at the 3. Rulon Jones, 75. Simon Fletcher, 43. Flushed him out. Chased him out of bounds. We'll see if the play stands.
Well, one thing about this Bronco defense, when they're in trouble and they want to get some pressure on the passer, they're going to bring in Rulon Jones.
Thrown for offensive pass interference. However, the ball was not thrown. Therefore, we're going to pick it up. No foul, 3rd down.
All right, to call offensive pass interference, but the ball had not been thrown yet.
And, of course, he was scrambling around the right side, and he picked up some valuable yardage inside the 5. Ball's going to be placed right at the 3-yard line.
So Mark Malone.
There's 82 right there. Now he's trying to block. He sees Malone's trying to run. Nothing wrong with that.
So since Malone carried the ball, the interference call did not go. We have an injury report for you in a moment. Tim Spencer, the biggest back for San Diego, now on the field at 223 pounds, and San Diego wants a timeout. Mark Malone wants 7 points.
Sure does. And Mark Jackson wants to get back in his football game, but he's got a fractured collarbone, so he's going to be out for quite a while. And that's a terrific blow to the Broncos. We take a look, updating Cleveland. Behind by 3 with the Jets, and that is a big surprise. The Raiders 2 touchdowns over Houston, and New England trails Minnesota by 2 touchdowns, all second quarter scores.
And the Philadelphia-Cincinnati game is locked up in the second quarter, and Seattle now ahead of Kansas City and Detroit over the Rams, and it looks like the Houston Oilers are really going to miss Warren Moon.
They sure are. And I tell you, this Denver Bronco team is going to miss Mark Jackson now. We don't know how serious that collarbone is. Of course, we get a report it is broken, so that means at least 4 to 6 weeks if he's lucky.
This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, the Denver Broncos, and the San Diego Chargers, all rights reserved.
And San Diego's got to get 7 points out of here and get back in his football game, Merle.
3rd and goal. Something went wrong in the pattern. Eric Severs, the tight end, broke to the outside, and the ball was thrown to the inside, but Severs was really covered.
He sure was. And they're going to have to settle for 3 points. I tell you, Mr. Saunders is not happy with that. You get that football inside the 5-yard line and got a couple plays. You're behind by more than 2 touchdowns. All you're thinking is 6 points. You've got to put it in here. But they're going to settle for 3.
Vince Abbott for a 20-yarder. And San Diego posts 3. So with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half, the Chargers score for the first time today on that field goal by Vince Abbott, the second-year man from Fullerton. Moshinko doing the holding for him. And so the spirits of the San Diego Chargers at least should be lifted a little bit because they played well in the last couple of series, Paul.
But see, you can look back on this when the game's over with as here's like coaches think. Well, we had the football down there in the first half. We had a chance to put 7 points on the board. When you don't take advantage of that, they still 2 touchdowns behind now, and that, of course, gives that Bronco offense a little cushion. There's Mark Malone on the sidelines. We take another look at Dan Reeves. Looks mighty dapper over there on the sidelines, doesn't he?
Oh, he always does.
I tell you, I like that.
So the Broncos, who are reversing their play of a week ago when they just didn't seem to do anything right. We talk about the winningest teams. The Denver Broncos certainly are one of the winningest teams of the 80s. The Bears, of course, have had tremendous success under Mike Ditka in a Super Bowl. victory. And of course, we know about the 49ers and all the postseason trips they take, as well as the Broncos, who have gone to the last two, and the Redskins, who seem to be a perennial now when it comes to Super Bowls. And Vic Savage will do the kicking off and drives that ball to Ken Bell at the goal line. Bell hurdling, getting an extra 10, 12, 13 on second and third effort. Ken Bell, the third-year man from Boston College, has averaged almost 19 yards on the returns this year.
Beautiful run here by Ken Bell. I tell you, he was hit inside just about the 20-yard line. The rest he does on his own. He gets it out to the 34-yard line and gives that Bronco offense beautiful field position.
So the ball is spotted on the 33-yard line. And Elway and company take over. Dorsett splits to the right. Linebacker comes out to cover him. The other way to Natil. Look at that move by Natil. Natil picks up a big gainer, and Chuck Fawcett, the linebacker, had to pull him down. A good job by Fawcett. But a big first down pass, and the ball at the 38-yard line on a 28-yard pickup.
Oh, what a move by Ricky Natil. Not only one move, watch these moves. He gets Gil Byrd out here, 1-2. Then he comes back to the safety man on the inside. That's Elvis Patterson. He drops him, and then down the sidelines with that great speed. He did it all on his own, and, well, what a dangerous receiver. He could take a little hook pattern and turn it into a big play, Merle.
Dorsett, the tailback. 1st and 10 on the 38-yard line of San Diego. Dorsett, after a yard or so, stopped by Chuck Fawcett. Stops Dorsett with help from Gil Byrd, number 22. Tony Dorsett, 32 yards last week. Completely different ball player this week. Even last week, you know, they had a special offense set up for him. But the key to it was Clarence Kay, the tight end. They lined him up as the H-back in the backfield. First couple of series, it looked like the Dorsett was going to emerge, the Dorsett of old. Then Kay goes out to change everything.
Kay went down with an injury in the first quarter. He is not suited up today, and that's a big part of this Bronco offense. Clarence Kay, the big blocking tight end.
2nd and 8. Dorsett goes barreling through across the 30, almost to the 27, and Joe Phillips has to stop him. And Tony D is having a day.
He's getting very close to moving into third place ahead of Franco Harris. And those rushing yards, he needs 53 yards. And he bursts off the right side there. Good blocking up front by Ken Lanier and Keith Kartz on the right side.
12 carries, 53 yards. He is now number 3.
And Jim Brown is staring him in the face.
First down on the 27-yard line. Dorsett and Winder are the backs. Dorsett again. 22-yard line. My goodness, Paul Harding. It looks like a different Denver team.
You know what it is? It's the offensive line up front. Believe me, Merle, they're moving that San Diego Charger defense 2 and 3 yards back. Every one of them, Jim Juriga, Keith Bishop, Billy Bryan, the center. On the right side, it's Keith Kartz and Ken Lanier. What a job. And this is for Tony Dorsett.
2nd down, 4. Denver leading by a score of 17-3. Dorsett again. Touchdown gone.
What blocking. I got to tell you again, Merle, what wonderful blocking off the right side. They love it. 81 yards for Dorsett today. That's his 86th touchdown. And he does it from 21 yards out. Watch the blocking. Little stutter step to the left side, a little counter, and nobody's going to touch him. My heavens, they wiped out everybody on the right side. Bishop pulling, got a block. Ken Lanier on the right side.
Carlos adds the extra point. 2 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the first half. And the Broncos, behind the running of Dorsett, go in for the touchdown. And now lead it 24-3. One more time.
I tell you, also, I just picked this up on that wide angle shot. Sammy Winder just grazes one guy on the outside. Watch him on the inside. When he gets in front of somebody else, just everybody, beautiful blocking on the right side.
So the Broncos answer the challenge of the drive of the San Diego Chargers, which netted the Chargers a field goal. The Broncos come roaring back with the touchdown.
You know, and a lot of players, when a guy like Tony Dorsett comes into your team, you've got to take your hat off to Sammy Winder. You know, he says, look, I know they're going to pay this guy a lot of money. I'll go up front and block for him. That's all right with me. I'll do my job. If that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. There's not too many football players with that big a heart, because most running backs like to run the football. And this kid is doing what he has to do.
Sammy Winder, watching him yesterday, he's something else. He was running plays in his street clothes. They were just kind of walking through plays yesterday. He always has the big cowboy hat on. And Carlos kicks this one out of the end zone.
And once again, I'll tell you, it's so important today to have a kicker, Merle, who can boot that football into the end zone. There's not a lot of kickers can put it into the end zone from the 35-yard line. And that's a tremendous edge, because that defense is working against the offense right at that 20-yard line. And normally that is a big disadvantage for your offense.
2 minutes and 35 seconds on the last drive for 67 yards on 6 plays. And the big one, of course, Dorsett's first touchdown as a Denver Bronco in the 86th of his career. And here come the Chargers. At halftime, Lynn Berman, Paul McGuire, and NFL Live with scores and highlights of all the games throughout the NFL today. Malone swings one incomplete, intended for Curtis Adams, coming out of the backfield, number 42. It'll be 2nd and 10 on the 20 for the Chargers.
That should have been a completion. That was a poor pass, and also was a poorly run pattern by Mr. Curtis Adams. He was kind of loafing a little bit on the right side, wasn't running full speed. He was wide open. This should have been completed.
Laufenberg has signaled the play in. Mark Malone taking over when Laufenberg was unable to move the Chargers. Miller splits wide to the left side now for San Diego, and Quinn Early is to the right. Both rookies, and they can move it. Bernstein in motion. Bernstein running a deep pattern. They go underneath them. Lionel James, and James picks up big yardage up near the 40. Mike Harden, 31, the free safety, and strong safety Randy Robbins, number 48. Bring down Lionel the Little Train James.
I tell you, watch him. Here he comes out of the backfield. We got him ISO'd. He hooks up here. Watch Jim Ryan come up, and he turns to the inside. This is what James does so well. He defeats that first tackler. Picks up 20 yards. Gets a little bit shy of the 40.
So San Diego coming right back now with the offense led by Mark Malone. 2 minutes, 13 seconds to go in the first half. Malone going deep down the side and looking for Jamie Holland. Covered by Jeremiah Castile.
Well, Castile's picked up his coverage. You know, sometimes when you play in a defense and you're on the opposite side of one of the great defensive backs like Mark Haynes, you become better just by competitiveness. You know, everybody writes so much about Mark Haynes, and look at this beautiful coverage here by Jeremiah Castile down the left side. He's got Jamie Holland covered like a glove.
A little more contact allowed this year, and the simplest way to explain the allowing of more contact would be to say they can do a little bumping and running as long as they're looking back.
They just quit calling pass interference. Is that what you mean?
Tight end Cox sets right. Malone looks for James, incomplete, flag down. Michael Harden is injured. He is getting up very slowly in the secondary.
I tell you, Mike Harden leveled Steve Largent last week. There's the bump and run. Look at this. That's past 5 yards down the line of scrimmage. That was Jamie Holland and Jeremiah Castile.
And defensive holding is called against the Denver Broncos.
Number 28, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down, 2-minute warning.
And you saw it. That was.
And so Castile is hit with the penalty, and we'll be right back.
Look at the career catchers, Merle. Now the Cox down, that's Arthur Cox. He's a 6-year veteran. The rest are rookies. Actually rookies.
Very, very young football team. Mark Malone on first down with 2 minutes to play. Right over the middle. And wide open to his tight end, Arthur Cox. Cox trying to hold on to the football and keep charging for more yards. Gets down to the 35, and a flag is thrown across the way.
20-yard pickup. And I'll tell you one thing about those defensive backs. They didn't want any part of trying to stop this load. He's 277 pounds. Watch a little delay. He's usually used as a blocker, so this is going to be open. Look at him. Now watch him take dead aim at these defensive backs. He just runs over 3 or 4 of them. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want any part of him either.
We had a delay of the game call against Denver, which was declined as the play was already run. At least that was the initial signal. How could they do that?
They're going to take the play. If we take a look at Al Saunders over on the sideline.
Yeah, but wouldn't the delay be called? No, okay, the signal is, okay, we just had it clarified from the sideline. They had too many players. The arms folded by Dick Jorgensen, but that, you know, one signal has to cover 2 or 3 different infractions, and so we have it from the sideline. They had 12 players on the field. So San Diego takes the play at the 35. To the near side to Lionel James, and he is brought down before he can get out of bounds. He was trying to get out to stop the clock. Castile made the hit on the 28-yard line, and we have 1 minute and 33 seconds left to go in the first half. And the clock is running.
Hurry up offense. This is a 2-minute drill. Everything's automatic. Mecklenburg.
And the pressure is on. James makes the catch. He does get out of bounds at around the 10-yard line, and that stops the clock with 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go in the first half.
I tell you, he's exciting. Lionel James. Hey, let's take a look at Lionel. He delays out of the backfield here, and I tell you, he's wide open.
He gets 18 yards on the pickup. 1:14 to go. Right. Denver leading it by a score of 24-3. 10 points in the first quarter. 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, and the first by Tony Dorsett as a Denver Bronco.
I don't tell you how imperative it is for San Diego to put 7 points on the board here if they're going to have any hopes of coming back in the second half. And Mark Malone wants a timeout here, or he may not be able to hear.
He is going to the sideline. We'll be back right after this. End of Mile High Stadium. I thought Malone was going to ask the official for time because he couldn't hear, but he did go ahead and call a timeout and went to the sideline.
Rulon Jones now checks in, Merle. He's one of the great pass rushers that they've had in this. Remember the Orange Crush defense years ago? Well, he's in right now, 9-year pro from Utah State. There he is lined up over the left tackle.
Malone 6 out of 10, 91 yards since coming into the second quarter. The fans cut loose again. Malone with lots of time. Out of bounds. 1:05 left to play. Chased out by Simon Fletcher. So Malone still has some time. San Diego down by 24-3. Well, I agree with you on this one.
Third down now.
It's such a critical.
It really is. Everybody was covered.
San Diego, yeah.
And unlucky for San Diego, they had everybody on the left side in patterns. Nobody was on the right side, so when Malone tried to scramble around to the right side, he had nobody to throw the football to.
Miller is put way out to the left.
Pretty good second quarter for Mark Malone. You better get rid of it.
Finally does, and his receiver falls down to the end zone.
And it was 6 points, too.
Darren Flutie lost his footing in the end zone as he was trying to get away from Randy Robbins, the strong safety, number 48.
Well, Mark Malone must be used to this. I could just understand. He'd probably say, well, this has happened to me a lot of times. Here's a guy wide open in the end zone. He floats it out there. If this guy keeps his feet at 6 points, watch Darren Flutie. And look at Coach Saunders. Dejection.
Now we're down to 58 seconds to go. Third down and 10. They can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. The ball is just outside the 10-yard line.
Watch James.
There he is. Out of bounds at the 5. Mike Harden, the defensive captain, a tough Pro Bowler, makes the hit. Randy Robbins applying pressure.
Well, I think everybody in the ballpark knew that Mark Malone was going to go to his #1 receiver here, Lionel James, and he gets on the outside. And look how Mike Harden kept that inside position on the tackle.
Now Mark Malone wants another timeout. James caught 3 balls for 41 yards.
You know, the
Last
marker,
week
it showed 4th down over there before the last time, and it actually was only 3rd down, Merle.
Yeah, they made a mistake in the marker over there. Last week against Los Angeles, the Raiders, James caught 3 balls for 41 yards. Boy, this little guy can really create some excitement.
Well, from 85 to 87, over 4,475 yards.
5 receptions today for 51 yards for Lionel James.
That's all-purpose yards I'm talking about, Mr. James. Kickoff returns, punt returns.
NFL Live at halftime with Lynn Bourbon and Paul McGuire. I'm sure that Paul will have some interesting things to...
He always does, doesn't he?
Yes, he will definitely have a statement to make. So Mark Malone with 4th down and goal.
Well, the key to this defensive ploy now for Denver will be wherever number 26 lines up. Somebody's going to have to watch him very carefully. He's lined up in the left halfback spot right here. And watch Eric Sievers, number 85.
Early split wide to the right, Miller to the left. Here we go.
Would they run a draw? Would they have the guts enough to run a draw? Yes. Yes, they would.
Mecklenburg stops the play. Ryan and Smith help out. Denver takes over.
You know, I would have liked that play if they would have cross-blocked up front, Merle. That was almost like a sweep, a delayed draw sweep. Now, you watchers, nobody hit up the middle here. You can't see it, but there's your left guard pulling, and he doesn't block anybody, and Jim Ryan makes the stop.
So Mecklenburg, Robbins, and Ryan, and you'll see them all on this tackle.
If that would have been right up the middle, I think they may have scored. A little draw play right up the middle, right over the center. Instead, they took it too wide.
The Broncos stopped the Chargers, and you just have to admire the way these Chargers keep coming back. They're down 24-3, but every possession, they just seem to try a little harder and hang in there.
I think that's a reflection of their young coach. There's no quit in this football team.
Joe Collier's defense, and you just saw the man along there. He is, Joe Collier, who's been the defensive coordinator here for a number of years, one-time head coach of Buffalo, but he has done an outstanding job with his defensive unit. Clock running with 20 seconds to go, and the Broncos are going to let it run out. So we have reached the midway point of the ball game. The Broncos with 10 in the first quarter and 14 in the second period will take a 24-3 lead into the dressing room at halftime. And Paul Horning, we saw a different look Denver offense on the last series on the Dorsett drive.
Well, Dorsett looked great in that second quarter. He's already got about 81 yards rushing. But you know what also impressed me is Mark Malone. He takes over as a quarterback here in the second quarter, and he throws for almost 100 yards. A turning point as far as the San Diego Charger offense. This is 4th down. Mark Malone scrambles out to the right side. Now watch Darren Flutie. He's down in the end zone. There you see it. He slipped down. He was wide open. That would have been 6 points. And that could have gotten the San Diego Chargers back in this football game, at least a lot closer.
And Mark Malone is the man that certainly has been very impressive for San Diego. And coming on to the second quarter, he did not play at all last week against the Los Angeles Raiders. Laufenberg had won the job in the summer sessions, the preseason 4 games, and looked very good. But when Al Saunders turned this team over to Mark Malone, he started to make some moves.
Well, Laufenberg had a very, very hard first quarter. He went all the way last week in their opening game, but he only completed 2 out of 8 in the first quarter. So he switches to Mark Malone, and Mark Malone had a pretty good second quarter, Merle. He was 7 out of 12 for 97 yards, and he had the Chargers down inside the 20 on 2 occasions. They only came up with only 3 points. So if you cannot put that ball into the end zone, especially when you're trailing by 3 touchdowns, you're going to be you're in for a long year.
Meanwhile, we saw Laufenberg warming up. Meanwhile, Elway's role in the second quarter in that last big drive changed a little bit.
Well, it sure was. They handed it off to number 33, and I think it gave the fans here a little something to expect. Tony Dorsett had a wonderful first half. He had 14 rushes for 81 yards, a long of 21 yards, and that was that touchdown run. He wasn't even touched off the right side, and I really have to say the blocking up front for Denver has been sensational. Those 5 guys on the inside and the big tight end, Arson Mobley, have been doing a wonderful job blocking. As evidence, you know, they've got 99 yards rushing already here in the first half. So total over 250 yards in offense, and that is the key. That's the storyboard of this first half, Merle.
So we're getting ready for the second half now. Weiser, the king of beers. Vince Abbott will be kicking off to Ken Bell and Ricky Nattiel.
And just to keep you updated, Mark Jackson did fracture his collarbone, and that's 3 starters that are out now in that offense. Dave Studdard and Stephon Humphreys.
And the kickoff is going to go to Ken Bell. He's out to near the 20-yard line. It'll be first down for Denver at its own 20.
There's your first half stats, Merle. Chargers 8 first downs, the Broncos 12. 99 yards rushing for Broncos, and you can see the Chargers, they gained 173 yards. You look up at that board, and they only put 3 points on the board.
Well, the big story there, too, was that Denver defense was stopping them deep in Denver territory. So they were getting near the goal line, but they just couldn't put it over. Dorsett and Winder will be the running backs as we open play of the third quarter. Tony Dorsett having a terrific day for the Broncos and showing the promise that they were looking for. And here he goes again, trying to get to the outside. Tony cuts it for 5 to the 25. It'll be second down and 5.
Gil Byrd came up to make the stop from his right cornerback spot. Take a look at Darth Vader Dorsett. He says it conceals his eyes and people don't know which way he's going to go.
Well, a lot of people are trying to pick something up from those running backs or quarterbacks, tipping what the play is, the way they're looking. Second down, 5. Denver leading at 24-3. Incomplete to Nattiel. Rookie, the second-year man from Florida. Gil Byrd, number 22, who's in his 6th year out of San Jose State, had the coverage on the play, and that's Byrd.
Well, that wasn't a good pass from Elway that time. He was wide open. Nattiel.
Steve Sewell coming into the backfield, and Dorsett will come out. The fans, when they see Tony Dorsett walking off the field today, they get a little anxious. In fact, after Tony had led a drive on one drive down to the 1-yard line and came out, they were booing. They wanted to see him. Well, they were rewarded with his touchdown run a little later. Winder and Sewell. Elway, that is Winder.
What a catch.
At the 38, almost the 39. Elvis Patterson, number 34, out of the University of Kansas and Yates High School in Houston, Texas, makes the hit. Gain of 14.
3rd and 5. Sammy Winder out of the backfield. He defeated the linebacker there. Cut to the inside, was wide open. Made a nice catch of an Elway pitch.
So it's a first down at the 38. Dorsett is back. Billy Bryan up over the ball. Billy Bryan, number 64, takes every snap. He's there always.
He won't let Mike Ruther, even in at practice, take a snap. I'll tell you, he likes his job and he wants to keep it.
Sewell leads the blocking for Dorsett, who's across the 45.
Got 7.
Sammy Winder also in there on the block. Chuck Fawcett, the inside linebacker, number 53, makes the hit.
I tell you, when you're a running back, Murrow, and you can get to the line of scrimmage and there's nobody there. Look at here. Right here. Look at this hole here. See, nobody touches him till he's 4 yards downfield. And when that happens, you just got to pat your offensive line right on the butt back in that huddle. I'll tell you that. He's congratulating. I'll guarantee his guards and tackles in center. They're doing a whale of a job up front, moving them off the line of scrimmage.
Inside handoff, Dorsett trying to find something, and he does. He finds it up for a first down all the way down to the 46-yard line. Getting about 8 or so. Chuck Fawcett again making the tackle. The first-year man from Maryland, signed as a free agent.
He doesn't run like a 34-year-old running back, I'll tell you that. 12 years in the league already.
And he is now at 102 yards now and 17 carries today. A reminder to our viewers that we will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of today's game. Natil drops it.
Should have had that one wide open. I tell you, you put him in the slot, he's going to be open. He either has a defensive back or a linebacker on him man to man. He's going to defeat him. And you saw him touch his hands there. He knew he should have had this football. 1, 2, 3 step, boy. He throws it on rhythm. You know he's open. Right there. Easy catch most of the time.
The Broncos bring on 2 new running backs, Gerald Woolhide and Steve Sewell. They've alternated with Dorsett and Winder. And those 4 fellows have been used in and out, keeping fresh backs on the field. And here's Elway out of the shotgun.
Bomb.
Natil, too long. Patterson had the coverage. Natil is getting very well acquainted with Elvis Patterson.
You know, I'm trying to look up here to see which way the wind is, whether it's blowing right or left. But you can't tell with Elway's arm. He's got such a strong arm. He throws it just as good against the wind as most quarterbacks do with the wind. He steps up into the pocket. He just lets this fly. There's a flag down. It's going to be a late hit. Now, that wasn't a hard hit, but you've got to lay off those quarterbacks when they release the football. And it's the most vulnerable position in the whole game, Merle, is that quarterback. When he gets hit from the blind side, that's the worst hit that any player on that football field is going to get. The quarterback hit when he doesn't see the linebacker coming on a blitz. Here it is again. That's why they have to protect him. Now, see, here he goes. Now, he didn't get hit too hard, but that's too late. That was Martin Bayless, a 5-year pro from Bowling Green, and that's a no-no.
Elway, Dorsett. No hold, goes to the outside, turns the corner, out of bounds. He'll mark it on the 24.
Well, he doesn't have the quickness he had in the first quarter, I'll tell you that. But I tell you, I think this altitude, you can see him, can you see his shoulder pads moving up and down? I think he's breathing quite hard. He's had a tough day here. He's handled the football almost over 20 times, and that is what Dan Reeves wants. They want to get the football in this young man's hands. Young man, I don't think we could call him a young man anymore, not as far as this sport's concerned, but he's a young man to me.
But what about the 3 amigos, the wideouts, and John Elway? It changes their game.
No, I'll tell you what'll happen, though. They'll keep doing this, and everybody will come up front, and he'll throw a lot more touchdown passes with this guy in the backfield.
2nd and 4. He'll go upstairs this time.
Look at that. See what I mean?
Touchdown is Vince Johnson.
That's what I was talking about, Merle. You put a guy like this in the backfield, everybody starts keying on him a little bit, and he was so wide open, it's unbelievable. How about Vance, baby?
So Vance Johnson gets the touchdown. The 4-year man from Arizona getting congratulations from his teammates, a 24-yard reception. And the Denver offense is clicking on all 4s.
And I think that's his first catch of the day. He caught 5 last week in the first game. No touchdown, so this is his first touchdown of the year. And Jackson, of course, who broke his collarbone in the first half. We don't know how long he's going to be out.
Rich Carlos off the Kubiak hold. And this is just easy stuff for Carlos.
And you want to see some more easy stuff? Take a look. Elway, his 2nd touchdown of the day. And look at the pass protection. Elway can stand back there and count the numbers. Beautiful pitch.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler.
Anthony Miller takes the kickoff in the end zone. Another fine return by Anthony Miller out across the 30. And he is dumped at about the 34-yard line by Kevin Guidry.
Well, we got some great new return men in the National Football League. 35-yard return now for Anthony Miller. And, of course, Tim Brown up the highway from San Diego, one of the great return men, also a rookie out of Notre Dame. And this kid, Anthony Miller, you're going to see a lot of him out of the University of Tennessee. We take another look. Look at the pass protection. Boom. Right over the middle. He's wide open. And, of course, Vance Johnson on the catch.
First down on the 34-yard line. The handoff goes to Curtis Adams. Adams gets distance out across the 40 to almost the 43. Mike Harden, number 31, the free safety, making the tackle, but a very nice pickup by Curtis Adams of about 7, almost 8.
You know, Merle, strange thing happened. We take a look at the 10-minute ticker. 30-29. What a game. Washington came back in the last quarter. Indianapolis got beat by the Bears. New Orleans over Atlanta, and Tampa Bay over Green Bay. 6-3 Jets over Cleveland. 28-21 the Raiders.
And Curtis Adams gets the call again for the first down and more on the sweep to the right. The power sweep. He's out across the midfield stripe and down into Denver territory.
Let's take another look at some other scores. Philadelphia now 3-point lead over the Bengals third quarter. Kansas City getting blown out up at Seattle. Kind of figured. Detroit by 3 over the Rams. Didn't figure.
And speaking of Seattle, the Seahawks came here last week to win. Denver was really angry. They felt they played terrible football. But don't take anything away from Seattle. Of course, the Seahawks had something to do with that. Denver just couldn't get the offense going. Curtis Adams again. And he keeps getting his number called because he is producing, going to the 41, and Simon Fletcher, the outside linebacker of the Broncos, 73, makes the tackle.
Well, you see that fun up there, 343 yards last year. And I tell you, this kid run hard. He's out of Central Michigan. He's 207 pounds. He stands just shy of 6 foot. And I tell you, he runs with a little authority in there.
Second down, 5 coming up for the Chargers. See, this is what the Chargers have been doing most of the day, though, Paul. They're moving the ball. They can't score.
Look back. Denver's given up a lot of yards rushing. 178 in that first game, so that the guy have a weakness there.
Malone to Miller. And Miller is popped at about the 36 by Mark Haynes, number 36. We have 9:34 to go in the third quarter. What about these routes?
We got this young Anthony Miller here. Of course, it was a controlled type of just a little hook pattern out there. He needed about 5 yards for the first down, and he got it. Good pitch by Mark Malone.
They did mark the ball across the 35 barely in Denver territory at the 35.
And of course, you always have a tendency to let up a little defensively when you got a 28-point lead.
The chase is on by Jim Ryan, who is blocked out of the play. Ryan really got cut down by David Richards, number 65, the tackle.
Now, that was intentionally grounding. There was no question about that. But there was a man in the vicinity right there, and they're going to give the quarterback the benefit of the doubt in that situation. Now, you watch. You throw this into the ground. No quarterback's got this poor an arm and this poor a definition for the play. Watch here. Almost got clipped there. Now watch. Boom. There was a man right there, so they're going to have to give it to the quarterback. There.
Throw it at their feet, right?
Just a smart play, that's all.
Second down. Denver leading 31-3.
Little tight end delay to 88. There he goes. Boom.
Oh, a nice tackle. Hardly any gain at all. Randy Robbins, 48, the strong safety, who was looking Arthur Cox right in the eye, the tight end. He stayed at home and said, hey, big guy.
Well, you know, I caught Arthur Cox saying something to the quarterback when he went back into the huddle. And usually when you get a tight end mentioning something to the quarterback, it's usually, hey, pal, give me the ball. I'm open on a little delay. They came back with the delay, but he wasn't open.
He got nothing. It is third down. Quinn Early splits wide to the left side for San Diego. Chargers 0 for 7 today. Third down conversions. Let's see if Malone can convert. 3rd and 10. No. Rulon Jones. Randy Robbins on pressure.
I don't know why. He should have thrown the football. He had Quinn Early out to the left side, and I thought he was open there. Al Saunders trying to be a little cheerleader on the left side. He's looking to the left side. Look at Mark Malone over here. Gets a good block by Lionel James. And, well, it was rushed. Rulon Jones on the sack.
They lose almost 8, and it's 4th down. And 18, and Thompson, Broderick Thompson, out of the USFL, University of Kansas, is the injured player. Mojenko back to do the kicking. Ralph from Michigan State, born in Germany. Kevin Clark, the deep back.
These punters love to punt here in Denver in thin air.
Fair catch called for by Clark. He didn't know where the ball is even. And San Diego tried to get that ball down at about the 1 foot line, and they might have done it. Right now, another official, I think, is signaling no, it was over. He broke the plane and did not come back in time.
David Brandon made a good play down there. David Brandon was the gentleman who knocked the ball back. I don't know if his foot or both feet were into the end zone or not. It was a 42-yard kick as Al Saunders looks on very intently on the sidelines over there.
This makes a big difference to San Diego, of course.
Yep.
Again, the Chargers showing that they can move the football. They just don't score.
We might be taking a look upstairs here at the replay on this one. We got Bill Swanson, the replay official, along with Val Pinchback, the director of broadcasting, as a communications expert. Let's see. That's David Brandon, number 58. Watch this. Now, he was up in the air. I don't know what. I couldn't see if his right foot touched that line from that vantage point or not.
Brandon filling in for Billy Ray Smith, who is out with an injury. You know, another guy that we didn't mention for San Diego that really makes a difference in their defense is Chip Banks.
Oh, well, he hasn't signed, and of course, Coach Al Saunders was telling us, boy, we really wanted him into the fold. We'll take another look at it. From our vantage point, it looks like it was a good play. It looks like he did, from that angle, knock it back. He was in the air. It looked like a good play from there. But it has to be conclusive evidence to overrule what the referee ruled.
Randy Kirk was a man who was just outside the goal line trying to down that ball. So we wait for the replay official, Bill Swanson, who says he misses being on the field, but he really is enjoying being involved as the replay official.
That's Bill Jorgensen, the head referee down there. Swanson, what, 21 years in the league, and he's been up here in the booth on replay for 3 years. He's had 2 Super Bowls under his belt. There you see today's officials.
And we wait. The Broncos are leading 31-3. We have 7:52 left to go in the third quarter here at Mile High Stadium.
19 years of sellouts here. Is that unbelievable? The only 2 games out of the last 135 that haven't been sold out, Merle, is the 2 replacement games last year here.
Look who won this one.
Yep. And I like that. I thought it was a good call. From my vantage point, it looked like he made a good play to me.
So Al Saunders feeling a little better about this situation, although he's way down. Dan Reeves, his team will start from the end zone, but they have moved the ball all afternoon. Now the San Diego defense will see if they can't stop John Elway and company.
Well, I tell you, we're halfway through the third quarter, and they better stop and do something big here.
A stop near the 5-yard line on Sammy Winder. Jurica leading the blocking. Jurica, first-year man from Illinois, and they really think that he has a great future. Big guy, 6'6", 269 pounds, number 66. One of the things that the Broncos are doing, everybody says, well, they've got a small offensive line. Well, by today's standards, it may be. They have a lot of veterans up there, and now when they're drafting offensive linemen, they are going for bigger linemen. That pass completed to Ricky Nattiel out across the 10.
Well, he's got gang tackle over on the left side, but not before he got the first down. Just a little hook pattern out there. And I tell you, when you've got a gun like Elway, it doesn't matter if the guy's covered or not. That ball's going to get there before the defensive cornerback can react.
Ball spotted near the 12-yard line. 1st and 10 for Denver. We have 6:52 to go in the third quarter. The Broncos lead San Diego 31-3. Merle Herman and Paul Horning with you from Mile High Stadium.
I'll tell you one other thing this will do for Dorsett. It will get him in good shape. Now, this kid's in good shape. But I tell you, there's nothing like playing in a football game, playing in the game conditions to get you in good shape.
Dorsett is in the pattern, but they go deep downfield and looking for Johnson, incomplete. Coverage by Elvis Patterson.
They always want interference. Vance Johnson's begging for it, but no way.
Vance Johnson scoring on a 21-yard, 24-yard reception from Elway for the last TD.
Here comes a blitz from the outside. It's picked up. You see 57. That's Keith Browner. He got a little pressure from the other side, but still was able to get the football off about 60 yards in the air, incomplete.
Second down, just barely outside the 12.
Let's see if they go to that little hook pattern out there that's been open all the time.
Will Knight and Sewell are the running backs now for the Broncos.
There it is.
I believe that ball was deflected. If it wasn't, it was close to it.
Yep.
Johnson was the receiver out there.
Well, Johnson turned to the outside, and I think Elway there, a little miscommunication. He wanted that hook pattern out there.
Something went
And
wrong.
he's asking for a play from Dan Reeves. They've got their signals going. Dan Reeves, of course, is on the sidelines with Gary Kubiak right there at the 35-yard line. Third down conversions, Broncos 2 out of 6.
Shotgun. Will Hite and Sewell are the running backs. Good pressure by the defense. What a recovery, and out to Will Hite. Will Hite gets up and gets out to about the 14-yard line, which will make a 4th down and 10. We have an injured Bronco on the field. Elway and Will Hite went freelancing to get them out of a deep hole. Ken Lanier is down on the field, the right tackle, the 8-year veteran out of Florida State for Denver.
Boy, they can ill afford to lose him. They've already lost the right tackle. I mean, the right guard, Stephon Humphreys. As we take a look at the scrambling ability of Elway, Will Hite gets loose and just loses his balance here, stumbles, and gets back way short of 1st down yardage. So Ken Lanier, the right tackle, and of course he's going to be substituted with Gerald Perry, a rookie from the Southern University. So this Denver offensive line, that could be a problem for them the next couple of weeks, Merle. They've got a lot of kids out. Dave Studdard, we've mentioned this earlier, the regular offensive left tackle. He hasn't played this year. Stephon Humphreys, the right guard, is out. And now Ken Lanier goes down.
There's your old pal Craig Morton.
That's him. And Craig is what they call an intern coach. And they have 16 coaches on this football team. Unbelievable.
We're at a timeout with 6:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. Denver winning big. On 4th and 9, it'll be Mike Horan from about the goal line to punt for the Denver Broncos. Lionel James should get the ball around midfield. 49-yard line of his own territory. James breaking tackles is inside the 35, near the 31.
I tell you, he's exciting. That little guy can move, and he can dance, and he's tough to bring down.
Week number 2 headlines. Doug Williams pass for 30, 52, 44, 2 touchdowns in Washington's win over Pittsburgh. Wild game that was. Tampa Bay ends a 9-game losing streak.
On Donald Igwebeki. How about that one? Did I do that
sir.
one?
All right. Good. 30 yards, 52 yards, 44 yards. Doug Williams in gear. Curtis Adams over the middle to the 28. Greg Cragen, the nose tackle, makes the stop.
Montana to Jerry Rice. That's his first touchdown of the year. 78 yards. How about this to beat the Giants 20-17? Well, he was a decoy last week, but not this week. Jerry Rice.
2nd down. About 7. Mark Malone is quarterback. San Diego sets early in the 2nd quarter. Curtis Adams. Adams has been a horse. He's down inside the 30 to the 25.
And I tell you one thing that Denver's going to have to worry about in the race to repeat in the AFC West is it looks as if you can run the football against the Denver defense. I tell you, even San Diego's having success with it. They're going to get over 100 yards rushing easily against this Denver defense. So they've got to bone up a little bit inside.
Some are saying that's a carryover from the Super Bowl.
Well, 280 yards they gave up against Washington. Came back last week, gave up 176. I would say it's a weak spot.
3rd down. James, blocker in front, plays off the block, gets stopped short of the 1st down at the 25-yard line by Tyrone Braxton, number 34, and Jim Ryan, number 50.
But Andre Townsend didn't make the tackle, but he was on the pursuit that caused the mix-up in the play. Here comes some 4 o'clock scores. The Jets over Cleveland still 6-3. 28-24, Raiders by 4, and Minnesota easily over New England third quarter.
4th down coming up.
Philadelphia by 3. Seattle easy winner looks like, and the Rams now 7-point lead over Detroit.
4th down, Mark Malone's call. 3 yards to go. Lays it up there. It is incomplete. Knocked down to the end zone. Miller, the intended receiver.
Great coverage.
Castile, the coverage.
Jeremiah Castile on the coverage again. Super coverage on the Bronco defense by the cornerbacks. Jeremiah Castile and Mark Haynes on the outside.
3:30 to go in the third. 31-3 Denver.
We're not a company, but no.
The Denver Broncos again stopped the San Diego Chargers, and we've talked about the vulnerability of the Denver defense, but still they have not permitted San Diego to get into the end zone.
Absolutely. They've come up with the big play when they needed it. Of course, they force them upstairs all the time.
Dorsett with 108 yards.
Got a few
Gets
more.
about 2 more. Gil Bird, the right cornerback, number 22, and stopped Tony D. 110 yards unofficially now for Dorsett, including his touchdown run, of course, which really got the crowd going. He scrambled 21 yards for a touchdown before the first half came to an end.
And Sammy Winder needs 4 yards now to move into the second place in all-time rushing for the Denver Broncos. Of course, Floyd Little's way out in front of that.
Dorsett, ooh,
Slip.
yeah, he started to make his cut. Looked like a cow catcher or something got him, but it was only his slip as he tried to make a cut.
5 substitutions come in defensively for San Diego. We'll have not only a nickel defense, we've got about 6 defensive backs in there. It's their variation of the 4-6 defense.
339 yards total offense for the Broncos, but the
4-man
statistics have changed a bit today for Denver.
4-man rush. Merle, they got 1 linebacker and 6 defensive backs and a safety blitz coming.
Here they come. He got it away, and it's caught by Mobley. And Mobley is out of bounds at the 35-yard line, and he has a first down. Leonard Colvin, number 31, the quarterback out of Vanderbilt, over there on the coverage.
Mobley caught 1 pass last week for 1 yard and a touchdown. This time a little square out pattern from the post position. Now watch him go for the first down. He knows he has to get to that yard marker. He gets to the 35-yard line, first down.
He's 256 pounds and 6'5" out of Salem College in West Virginia. Dorsett is back. Winder is back. First down, Broncos. Winder. Flags down. Got a couple.
Face mask.
Fawcett, number 53, the inside linebacker who led San Diego in tackles last week against Los Angeles, the Raiders that is, with 8.
We didn't get the face mask penalty. Could be holding here.
Number
There it is.
66, offense, 10 yards, still first down.
Jim Juriga, the left tackle from the University of Illinois, gets the call.
Well, injuries. We'll see how well that Bronco offense can operate in the next couple of weeks with Stephon Humphreys out, Dave Studdard still out. Ken Lanier might go out. We're trying to get an update on the injury to Ken Lanier, their right tackle. Of course, Clarence Cave with the spinal cord injury last week. We don't know when he's going to come back. So they've got their problems ahead of them.
1st and 20. Dorsett and Winder are the split backs. Ooh, a great defensive play. And Dorsett really got popped by Elvis Patterson, but the indication was, at least the first indication, was incomplete.
He's up. Good hit by Elvis Patterson here. He smelled that screen to the right side, and I really think that Elway wanted to throw this pass away. He knew it right there. He hung it up, and he just saw a little daylight, and he put it right there, but Patterson had to bead on Dorsett. I tell you, as a running back, you want the quarterback to throw it away under that spot. You look at those films and you say, John, why didn't you throw that away? Save me that hit.
Second down, 20. Elway being pursued, throws it to Will Height. San Diego's defense swarming, knocks him down at about the 27. Gary Plummer, inside linebacker number 50, on the hit. So
he's having fun
very
today.
little.
He's having fun today, though, Mr. Elway. You look up at that board, boy, 31-3. Your defense is doing the job. Your offense is functioning on all cylinders. And let's check the yardage that he has today. He's having quite a good afternoon. He's over 218 yards for Mr. Elway.
And Dorsett around 110 yards rushing. Steve Sewell is in. Will Height is in. 3rd and 18. Natil, if he caught it, they got enough.
Well, that's a beautiful play. I tell you, we watched him work on this in practice. This is a beautiful play by Ricky Natil. He goes down deep, and when he hooks up, he comes back to the football. Now you watch, this is designed for John Elway to get outside. Now watch him when he hooks up. Now watch him come back to the football. You see, you cannot stop that, folks. With the gun that Elway has, he's going to put it low. It's not going to be any chance for an interception, and that is a completed pass.
And that 15 yards, giving Natil 80 for the day, gives Denver another first down. So
well, I just love how they run that play, Merle. They go down and come back.
Time is run out for the third quarter. And at the end of the third period, it is 31-3 Denver. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Teams ahead by a score of 31-3 going into the fourth quarter. So for San Diego, it's try to look for some bright spots as this young team develops. And for Denver, it's to start to worry about some of the injuries that they have suffered today.
I'll tell you something, Merle. Before it's over with, San Diego's going to beat somebody they shouldn't. I tell you, they got enough skilled people. You got James. You got all these young kids who can run. And I tell you, when they put it all together one of these days, you're going to see explosive team.
Sammy Winder to the 47. Fawcett, who led the Chargers in tackles last week, is racking up a lot of tackles again today.
And I point up another break for Denver. Next week they get Kansas City. And I tell you, I think that's kind of a break for them, because with the kids that are out and maybe out with injury, you better be glad you got Kansas City instead of the Ravens or somebody like that.
On 2nd and 6, that could be enough for a first down. Vance Johnson, 82. Elvis Patterson on the tackle, number 34. Let's see where they marked the ball. It looked like he did have enough and then was knocked backward.
How about that? Once you get over $1 million a year, you probably deserve every quarter of it and then some. I'll tell you. There's about 4 guys here in the National Football League that I think are just indispensable. And then you got your Marino, you got your Montana, you got your Jim Kelly, and this guy. You know, they could have 4 or 5 bad games and you're going to go with them all the way. Other teams are going to substitute quarterbacks and change. These 4 quarterbacks, you don't change them.
Dorsett hit behind the line on a first down call. And Keith Browner, number 57, the outside linebacker, is the man that made the stop, and that'll take a few yards away from Tony D as Will Height comes in.
Well, they're just trying to take some time off the clock now, Merle. This game's over 31-3. As far as the Broncos are concerned, they just don't want to fumble a football or cough it up or give them a cheap 6 points.
It'll be second down for the Broncos. They've got 13 yards facing him for a first down. Will Height and Sewell are the running backs for Elway's shotgun. Over the middle at the 25-yard line, Vance Johnson and Elvis Patterson.
And the key there is, look how much time he had to throw the football. Somebody's going to be open. My heavens. And he got hit pretty good. You know, he was out a slight shoulder separation, and he's hurt again. Vance Johnson he's not limping off, but he's not going off 100%, I'll tell you that. Look at the pass protection here, Merle. Watch him step up into the pocket. He's coming back for the football. Vance Johnson, right on the money, picked up 19 yards and the first down.
So at the 25, the Broncos have possession. We're in the fourth quarter. Denver on top, 31-3. Merle Harmon and Paul Horning with you from Denver.
He hurt that shoulder again, Vance Johnson.
On a draw to Dorsett. Dorsett brought down at the 21 by Gil Bird, who has seen a lot of Dorsett today, number 22, and David Brandon, number 58, who's playing that right outside linebacker in the absence of Billy Ray Smith. Some baseball scores now. 15th inning. How about that one, huh? And Cleveland stopped Boston this afternoon. Boston had a 3.5 game lead going into the action today, and Milwaukee stays right in there and will pick up a game on the Red Sox. Milwaukee is closing now, I believe, 4.5 out. Second down.
Boy, Dorsett's deep back here, almost 9 yards, 8.5 yards deep.
Just about at the line of scrimmage. Chuck Fawcett stopping Tony Dorsett. One of the things about that, having the tailback so deep, I keep hearing that the advantage of that, it gives the running back more selectivity, but it also gives him a lot of ground to make up. But what about those guys having to hold those blocks?
Well, they really have to hold the blocks a little bit longer. You must sustain your block. But today, these kids are so big that the blocking scheme of things has changed a lot, Merle, in the last 20 years. You almost have to cross block and trap block today.
Third down for Elway.
Look at this guy.
Still on his feet, being pursued. He's got some daylight down the right side, but not enough, I don't believe, for the first down. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds, though. So Elway.
Look at him. He's having fun, folks.
He's got a fourth down coming up.
Anytime you got a 4-touchdown lead, third quarter, you're having fun. Here's another look. The Jets still over Cleveland by 6 points. Can you believe that, Merle? And the Raiders, Houston has cut it to 4. Minnesota looks like an easy winner.
And Cincinnati ahead of Philadelphia, Kansas City going down to Seattle. Big story, Indianapolis quarterback Gary Danielson is injured. So Mike Pagel has replaced him. Gary Hogaboom is unhappy. Rich Carlos, barefooter all the way. This will be a 38-yard effort.
Good strong leg, I tell you. Woo.
So the field goal by Rich Carlos runs that lead up 3 more points.
We'll see him for a couple series here in the fourth quarter. Elway's had a very, very good day. 2 touchdown passes.
Mark Malone, who did not start the game, Laufenberg did, could not move the team in the first quarter. Malone on to the second quarter. The Chargers have not been able to get into the end zone, have had to settle for the 1 field goal as Malone keeps looking and finally decides he better do some running and slides out of bounds up near the 30.
A little short of first down.
Malone in his first action for the Chargers coming over from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hasn't looked too bad, I don't think. Merle, even though he's way on the short end of this score.
Malone 9 out of 16 for 104 today.
And most of the big plays for San Diego, Lionel James, he's really been the guy who's gained most of the yardage.
Curtis Adams to about the 33, and he's got a first down. Sean Knight, number 99, a second-year man from BYU, making the tackle.
He was the #1 draft choice of the New Orleans Saints.
That was an interesting trade, wasn't it?
They traded #1s. They traded Ted Gregory, who was the Broncos' #1 draft choice this year. So they're going to let Mr. Knight in there and see what he can do.
Holland to the left and Early to the right.
He's big enough, isn't he, Merle?
Oh, is he?
6'6", 288. Wow.
Malone right over the middle. Rod Bernstein at the 40. Carl Mecklenburg, number 77, makes the tackle.
Let's watch the Pro Bowler. He's lined up as an inside linebacker here. He goes back on the drop. Now watch him pursue for the tackle. He's all over his face. That was Rod Bernstein he tackled.
Bernstein got 8. Second down. The ball spotted on the 41-yard line in San Diego territory. 9:04 left in the game, and Denver leading it by 34-3. couldn't get it. Had to turn around for it.
Just the timing's off. It looks as if they haven't worked too long together, and of course they haven't. This is the first year Malone has been there, but boy, that play should have been an easy completion. He was so wide open.
It is 3rd down 2. The last time the Chargers beat the Broncos here was November 9th, 1986. There were 4 field goals in the game. 9-3 score.
That was Al Saunders' first win.
Winning quarterback was Tom Flick. 3rd down 2. Fake inside handoff. Malone. 1st down, out of bounds, 45-yard line of Denver.
Where's that play been? Beautiful play here, a little bootleg. Around the left side, Malone makes it easy. Short yardage, he picks up 14 yards on the bootleg. Watch this, little fake to Lionel. Everybody goes with him, of course.
Malone very anxious to get out of bounds, and did before Mike Harden could catch up with him. Tell you this, he did some running in Pittsburgh.
They're overdue to put a touchdown on the board. They've been down here 3 or 4 times. It's stalled.
That's got to be the most frustrating thing for San Diego. The scoring opportunities they've had in Denver has been able to stop them deep. Right over the middle. This catch is with a tight end, Arthur Cox.
Nothing fancy about Mr. Cox. He just gets the football and goes north-south, tries to run over you.
Carl Mecklenburg, the tackle, gain of about 4. It's Babe Bloffenberg, the starting quarterback today. Quarterback the Chargers all the way last week against the Los Angeles Raiders. Threw for 159 yards in the game. Today, just didn't go for him.
Looks strange to me when I look at a San Diego team and Dan Fouts is not in there.
Yeah, boy.
I tell you, so many years we've been watching Fouts, one of the great quarterbacks. What an arm.
How about Kellen Winslow?
That's right.
Incomplete. Everybody's looking for a flag, but it's not there. Bernstein, the intended receiver, covered by Randy Robbins, number 48. What a difference a year makes.
That's right. I think Robbins was looking for the flag, too, if you want to be perfectly honest. He had his left arm in there.
7:53 to go in this one. Denver on top, 34-3. 10 points for the Broncos in the first quarter, 14 in the second. And then in the third quarter, they scored on a 24-yard pass play from Elway to Vance Johnson.
2 out of 12 on third down conversions for San Diego today.
To the near side, incomplete. Win early, covered by Mark Haynes, and now the flag goes.
Have you ever noticed every time an interference call goes against the home team, they boo? Every time. I don't care if it's flagrant. Let's take a look. This is Quinn Early.
That might have been a little early.
A little on early. He was, wasn't he? Dick Jurgensen makes the call.
So Mark Haynes, who is a great...
You see his left arm right there.
Well, that's what got him. He had a hold of the...
They had a nice shot of that. You could see the left arm was on his shoulder pads before the ball got there. And I tell you, I don't think Dan Reeves likes it either.
No, he didn't. First down for San Diego. The ball, 28-yard line, Denver territory.
I thought it was interference.
Carlos had a 38-yard field goal for the only score for Denver in this period. Early in motion. Flags are down.
Everybody moved. Dennis McKnight, the right guard, moved.
One of the, on the scouting report of McKnight.
False start, number 60, offense.
That's Dennis McKnight.
Still first down.
On the scouting report on him, quickness.
There he goes. There's the right guard.
And he was too quick.
Oh, was he? It was about 3 seconds too early there.
7:48.
The ball goes to the 34-yard line after the 5-yard walk-off, and it becomes 1st and 15 for San Diego.
And overcast skies has arrived here at Mile High Stadium. We might get some rain before it's over with.
This time the inside handoff goes to Lionel James. He didn't get a whole lot though, about to the 31-yard line possibly. Knight is in there, number 99.
And let's take a look at the scores again. Now the Jets have really pulled away from Cleveland 16-3. The Raiders over Houston by 4. Minnesota easily over New England. 3-point lead for the Eagles against Cincinnati. Fourth quarter, 21-point lead by Seattle. And the Rams leading Detroit.
Second down, 12. Man of the end zone overshot. Number 82, Rod Bernstein, out of Texas A&M. Sean Knight, number 99, had the pressure on the quarterback. Mike Harden the coverage, but Bernstein was deep in the end zone. The ball was thrown well over his head. Third down, 12 at the 31-yard line of the Broncos. The Broncos had trouble defending the run last week against the Seahawks. But in this game, although they've given up yardage, basically between the 30s.
Well, San Diego got so far behind, they're going to throw the football.
Malone over the middle, intercepted, picked up by Randy Robbins.
Free safety. They know they're going to throw it every time. The interception ratio, odds for an interception really go up in this predicament.
Randy Robbins, the 5-year veteran from Arizona. Timeout, 6:55 to go. Denver 34-3.
Today, he's looking for Mike Quick. He grabs it one-handed, spinning around. It sets up the lead Philadelphia touchdown. It's now 24-21 over Cincinnati. Back to Merle and Paul.
Okay, Lenny, thank you very much. You're in Denver today. The Chargers leading, or rather trailing by 34-3 on the defense against the Denver Broncos, and Gary Kubiak, who's now the quarterback, at the 45-yard line of Denver. Ken Bell. Bell to the 48. Fawcett makes the tackle.
Let's take another look at the interception. Watch the free safety come from right there, and he's got his eye on it. Malone didn't even see him. That's Randy Robbins on the first interception for the Bronco defense in 2 games. He runs it out of bounds. 7th career interception, as we see.
Third down, 1.
Anytime you throw a deep pass, a deep post pattern over the middle, Merle, you must key the off safety. You have to know where he is.
Bell and Wilhite to the running backs. That's Massey in motion. And the quarterback sneak by Gary Kubiak. He may have it because he got about a half yard. There's 72, Keith Karts. He's filling in for Stephen Humphries, who's injured. Quite a story on Keith Karts. He had stomach cancer as a freshman in California. Survived it, whipped it. 6'4", 270, very healthy today, and fulfilling a dream, playing professional football.
And he was a replacement player last year, Merle, and now he's got a starting job when Stephon Humphries went down with an injury. And a lot of the players, they think it's going to be tough for Mr. Humphries to get his job back because this guy likes to play.
Nose of the football is apparently... Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back and check that one again. There's Stephon Humphries, who is being replaced by Keith Karts. And it was a first down by right at the nose of the football. Looked like it was a little short, didn't it? Maybe it was the angle we had.
It does look a little bit short from where they had the marker.
5 minutes, 7 seconds left to play in the game. Bell and Wilhite are the running backs. Gary Kubiak in his 6th year with the Broncos. That's the book on him. Wilhite finds some daylight to the 43. Jeffrey Jackson, 52, the inside linebacker on the hit for San Diego. Short of a first down, however.
There's Clarence Kay in the blue jacket over on the sidelines. The big tight end that they miss. I tell you, Arson Mobley's done a fine job today, but you can never afford to lose these kind of football players. Clarence Kay noted as their best blocker.
He has a bruised spinal cord. You had an injury like that,
yes, sir. I just hope he's very, very careful. I'm sure the doctors are. They're going to be looking at those x-rays and make sure you don't have a subluxation of the cervical spine in the 5th or 6th or 7th. I know a little something else.
This is Bell, and Bell has the first down across the 40 to the 38. Gil Bird, 22. Gary Plummer, number 50. The cornerback and the inside linebacker make the stop.
Well, we've been witnessing an outman football team in the San Diego Chargers, a young football team. And I guess you'd have to say Elway had a wonderful day. 17 pass completions for over 250 yards. In fact, he was 17 out of 28 for 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, and what a wonderful day Dorsett had. Over 100 yards rushing. So he electrified this sellout crowd.
I want to thank our spotters, Mark Friedman and Merritt Cohen, and Ray Friedman, our statistician today, for a job well done. Kubiak, Bell again.
I tell you, he sticks it in there.
Bell
Mr.
looks like he wants to play, doesn't he?
Yes, sir.
Martin Bayless, a strong safety, 44, had to bring him down. Ken Bell is basically a special teams player. Number 35 out of Boston College in his 3rd year. 2nd down. 4s. He got 6 on the last call. You know, Paul, I want to go back and correct something. I believe I had given information that Danielson had gone down with an injury, Indianapolis. Of course, Gary Danielson had become the backup quarterback at Cleveland, and Bernie Kosar is out.
Yeah, well, Danielson is out too. Mike Pagel.
And Mike Pagel is the quarterback.
And Cleveland is losing.
Yeah. 2nd down. And the delay to Bell, this time the Charger defense, and you got to give them credit. They're still sticking that helmet in there, making some pops. Lee Williams, 99. The defensive left end makes the stop. It's short of a 1st down. It'll be 3rd down. A little more than 2 for a 1st down.
And so we're going down to the 2-minute warning.
And the Denver Broncos on their way to victory. And the 2-minute warning is here. The Denver Broncos lead the San Diego Chargers 34-3.
2 yards, so he's off to a flying start. He could really mean the difference to this offense, because all it does is just give Elway that much more leeway to throw the football.
Tonight, come home to the best in family comedy, starting with Rags to Riches. Then it's Family Ties, followed by My Two Dads. After that, stay tuned. NBC. 3rd down, 2. Kubiak to Bell. Bell's got the first down to the 25. Martin Bayless stops him there. So Bell continues to be impressive, but that San Diego defense has got to be a little bit more than weary by now, but they're
just flat out tired.
Yeah. But they have certainly given their best, and Al Saunders, I don't know what he's going to have to say about this ball game, but the defense has spent a lot of time on that field today.
Merle, in the last minute and a half, I just want to thank NBC, and I want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to work with you again. And I just hope that the people around the country has witnessed the old-timers in this NBC group enjoyed it as much as we have, because I sure have enjoyed it up here with you and being here in Denver again.
Well, I echo that same sentiment. It is fun to be back involved in football for a few ball games while the regular NBC announcers are over in Seoul, Korea, getting ready for the big Olympic telecast, which will be starting this weekend on NBC.
Thursday, in fact, they've got a special, I think, on the air, and of course the Olympics, to me, you just can't get me away from the set. And NBC's got some great shows lined up after that, coming up with what, the World Series, and then of course
Super Bowl,
culminating with the Super Bowl at the end of the year. So what a year for NBC.
26 seconds to go. Will Height. And he is near the 17. Clock running down. There's our Budweiser most valuable player, Tony Dorsett.
Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. And it is over in Denver as the clock runs down to 0. And Tony Dorsett with more than 100 yards. Dan Reeves, the winning coach. Al Saunders, a loser for the second time, and Reeves is now 1-1. So the final score, Denver 34, San Diego 3. Will return in a moment. 19 years of sellouts in Denver, 75,359 looking on today. Disappointed last week, but not this week, because Elway and Dorsett have found themselves a game plan that's working.
And this is the 21-yard touchdown run of TD touchdown Tony Dorsett. 21 yards out for his first touchdown in a Bronco uniform.
And the most valuable player. And we'll come back to Mile High Stadium in just a moment. Well, Paul, school is out, and here's the report card.
Well, I tell you, the first half, it was all Tony Dorsett and all John Elway. And when you look at it, they just took all the pressure off the defense. San Diego got down there a couple times in the first half, couldn't put it in. And then actually the game was history at halftime, and Elway just took up where he left off in the first half. He finished with over 250 yards passing. Dorsett 113 yards rushing. And it was just a great balanced attack. Offensive line did a great job, and this was just an overmatched effort.
And for the Chargers, has Malone won the quarterback job?
I think so. I think you'll see Mark Malone starting next week. And I didn't think he did a poor job at all. He was flushed out of the pocket. Didn't have a lot of time to throw the football. And San Diego's a young team, an inexperienced team. They're going to get better, and they're going to beat somebody before this year's over. They shouldn't. You watch. Have a big upset.
And the report card of the Denver Broncos today, we've talked about Elway and Dorsett. And of course, it's not just the two. There's Natil, there's Carlos, of course, with that big leg of his, and Vance Johnson, and they did lose, apparently lost Mark Jackson.
And I tell you, they also lost Ken Lanier. They earlier lost Stephon Humphreys, the right guard. Dave Studdard is not back yet, so the Broncos really have an injury problem to fool with starting from now.
But the Broncos are a winner today, 34-3 over San Diego, and we'll be right back.